And we're live.
I got this in the mail today. I was a bit sleepy when I opened the package, so I didn't even read who it's from. But thank you.
Oh, it's a gift.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought you bought it.
No, I would never do that.
I would never.
I mean, I got my shirt, but
build the wall.
Rosie,
build the wall. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. It's all red, white, and blue and everything.
How does it make you feel to wear it?
It feels really cheap. It's padded and cushy in a way that I don't like, and I've never liked these hats that have this plastic shit back here.
No.
And it's one of those hats that's really tall, and I don't have a tall head. Like it's that, and this hat is like. Yeah, I don't know. The hat is taller than my head is, so it's like I need to be like wearing it down here or something. Like it wants to eat my whole head.
Yeah, Kyle's got a 3 head. You know. Little smaller.
There's a thing about the MAGA hats.
Look, melon head, don't you be even pointing that shit out. Look at Kyle's tiny head. You walking over there like a fucking lollipop. Get out of here. You come over here talking about my little head.
As I'm walking around, sometimes my neck just gets tired and I have to go rest. Hang into the side.
The MAGA hats are... The MAGA, the Make America Great Again hats are interesting because, like, on one hand, I'd never buy that shit, right? Like, if it wasn't Trump wearing that hat, it should be an ugly as fuck hat. Like, it needs somebody to push it. On the other hand, it's kind of iconic. Like, if it was a regular fitted cap, like I think is attractive... somehow it wouldn't stand out as much. Like when you put a MAGA hat on anything, like Photoshop it or meme it or whatever, then I feel like it's a real distinctive hat because nobody buys that shit.
I remember when Trump, I think he spent $1 million on these hats, and they made fun of him. They were like, Trump today spent $1 million on these hideous hats. What a waste. And then you look, and there's 1 million fucking people wearing those things. I went to the rally. They all got them. And if they didn't have them, they were doing their best.
They wanted them.
They wanted them. And they were slinging them outside. Like the guy had a cart full of them. He kept emptying the cart, going back to his van and returning with more. He did it all day. Everybody had one. And they're not good caps. They're not.
No, they're cheerleaders. It looks like
has nothing to do with this. This is not what you're buying. You're buying a piece of the... You're getting in the group. You're becoming one of the Trump followers. And I've been really fascinated by this political season and what Trump's been able to do. I hope he can beat Hillary in the end because that's my only wish. I want Hillary to lose, and if I would rather have a reptile, a pro-gun reptile would be a better president than Hillary Clinton. I really strongly believe that. I think Woody would be a better president than Hillary Clinton. I think that Taylor's Mexican gardener would be a better president than Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm. I'm up there though. I'm close. I might be a better president than her.
You could be Secretary of State. Yeah.
No, I'm not. Kyle's not 35 either.
I didn't say I'd be a better president.
Oh. Well, you are good at this, covering your bases already.
A few more years will be great.
That Make America Great Again hat, it looks like the hat that they would just give to an extra playing a trucker in like a middle school play, where he'd come out in coveralls and that horrible
like $1.
Hat that clearly
like
has
$1
never
a
been
piece.
Before.
You know what he sells these for?
I bet, and squeeze it.
Guess what this costs
20?
on Trump's website?
$60. $19.95.
25. $25 for these things. Oh, is it 30 now? Chiz is saying 30. That's
you know what would be fucking hilarious is if Bernie Sanders started a Kickstarter at this point for the rest of his campaign, just to kind of like throw in the towel, see if that's what it takes. You know.
I have no hate in my heart for Bernie, but I do like to make fun of him for some reason. Him and the like.
It's because anytime people get super into something, you want to kind of pick it apart naturally. You know, like that's. You just kind of see from the outside, like, there's no way this fucker's as good as they're saying, and so you kind of make it your mission to go in and figure it out and just kind of run with it. I'm sure he's a great guy. He just is. He's done. Oh, has the implosion started on Reddit yet? I'm sure that you've had a closer.
They're hanging on. They're hanging on and coming up with all kinds of ways that they can pull it off and saying this needs to be done and that needs to be done, and it's pretty pathetic. The only path that they have that I can see is her indictment or her untimely death.
And what's funny is they're to use basketball, they're down by 50 at the half, and then they go like another quarter goes by and they're down by 50, and it's like, really, we were even that quarter, so looking better. And it's like, no, dude, like you needed to start winning quarters if you want to win games, but it doesn't seem to happen.
I'm looking for this Donald Trump GIF that I saw recently. It was really fucking funny.
I like his GIFs.
His subreddit is very good.
Is it the Donald? That's his.
Yeah, the Donald. Can we watch this? This is hilarious.
Sure. This GIF?
I love
this.
this.
Oh my god. Did you find this?
Yeah.
I'm watching it. Oh, I've seen it. Romney.
The look on Romney's face when he breaks his hand.
Is this from Superman?
No. Oh.
What is it from?
Look at that physique. Does that look like a Superman physique?
Terminator?
No. That is Terminator 2. That's Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. He's slinging bikers around. That's the beginning of Terminator 2. He walks in there.
Face on Rubio, but he's like, oh, he's getting thrown through the window.
He slaps him with a pool stick. That's a great fucking movie scene. He walks into that bar fucking naked. The jukebox is playing. Well, you taught me how to hurt real bad and cry myself to sleep. With the waitress like walking by with the drink, she like looks at Arnold's cock. She's like, like keeps on going. he enters the room and the big bad biker man is just like, the fuck are you doing in here? I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. He's like, they're like, hey, and he burns him with that cigar. And Arnold doesn't even fucking move, of course, because he's a machine. And
he's Arnold.
Because he's Arnold. I forget that he's a machine.
That was a good Arnold impression.
Living tissue of a metal endoskeleton.
Yeah. You have the very good staccato delivery of all the lines. It doesn't flow well between the words. Very sharp endings to all of it.
So I go, 2 or 3 times a week when I want something done. And I'll be like, is he back there? Can I talk to him? I can hear him listening to Fox News back there. I hear Trump. Get Trump on the line. He'd fix this. He'd build a wall and an internet line.
Make my internet great again.
He'd make it great again. That's what I.
That's great.
You want to go to some politics talk?
I'm always down. I feel like there haven't been a lot of updates.
Doesn't have to be a long talk about it.
I think that the update is this, that Hillary continues to dominate. The Bernie supporters continue to be brainwashed into thinking that they have, in denial, thinking that they have a chance at a legitimate path to the delegates or the nomination.
Can I jump in?
His only path is through her indictment.
There's another thing. So it's funny. So up until recently, the Bernie people have been saying, hey, this super delegate system is bullshit. I really don't like it. I don't like the fact that in a race to 1,200 or whatever it is, she started 400 points in front of me. Now, his shift is this. Hey, super delegates, I can't seem to get more votes than her. Why don't you come over and give me the kind of advantage you previously gave her? He's hoping to get this. He's like, look, I'm the one here who can beat Trump and Cruz. If you look at these national polls, I seem to win all the time. So superdelegates, give me the hookup, even though she's kicking my ass in the actual elections. Rig the system in favor of Sanders.
No, but that's different. Yeah.
It's not.
I don't believe he can beat Trump.
There's a thing about that. So,
no.
The unnamed candidate, right? If you say, hey, who would you rather vote for, Hillary or the unnamed Republican? The unnamed guy always crushes it. I could go the other way. Say, who do you think will win, Trump or the unnamed Democrat? The unnamed person wins because there's no negatives about that person, right? Mm-hmm. It's just all your favorite things about that party. Bernie Sanders, when they do these head-to-head things, benefits from that. They say, hey, do you like... I think that was one of the reasons I liked Kasich early on. I didn't really know his downsides yet. I only knew, like, the bright points. So they say Bernie Sanders beats all these other people. That's because Bernie Sanders isn't known well enough. And if they knew him, warts and all, and everybody has them, then, he wouldn't get that unnamed Democrat versus Trump advantage.
Yeah, I think if it came down to it, so the fuel the Sanders fuel is young white people, His kryptonite is black people. On the other hand, Trump's fuel is white people. Any white people, working class blacks, and his kryptonite seems to be
And apparently
young
working class Hispanics, right?
apparently. I feel like in a Trump versus Sanders, it's a big election of people not showing up. The Trump supporters will be very fired up. The Sanders supporters will be very fired up. I just think there's more Trump supporters. His rallies are bigger. They always talk about Bernie's rallies. Reddit won't shut the fuck up about how huge Bernie's rallies are. They're enormous. No. Trump rallies look like fucking Woodstock or something. There's 35,000 people. They block those intersections, and people walk 3 miles anyway. They have concerts, concert stadiums sold out.
It's not even on the same level. They're not even comparable. It's an open mic versus Bill Burr at Madison Square Garden level of difference in the number of people. Chiz, you just commented that they will show up to make sure Trump doesn't get in office. He will get crushed. The number of Sanders fans out there, I think, is very much overstated because the people who are his biggest fan spend time in circles online that it's confirmation bias. You're seeing
it's two
what
things.
You want to see.
It's twofold. Not only are they loudmouths, but they're often the kind of people who we're not allowed to call loudmouths. Because
Black Lives Matter.
Because they're like part-time social justice warriors at the same time. They'll be triggered or offended. They'll call you a racist, a bigot, a sexist, a misogynist, or something like that. It's such a mixed bag of people who are so sensitive that you can't really criticize them. Without
you can't even have a discussion with people that sensitive because you say one thing that even just kind of pokes at their sensibilities a little bit, and suddenly it's not a talk about an issue. It's a talk about how their feelings were impacted when you were so insensitively used that word or that argument tactic, or you know what I mean? It's like you can't even.
I feel like you're a white male that should be racist, right? Like if I were to say, like, you're only Jewish, people would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's what you're a white male should be regarded as.
Yeah, but it will never be that way because people think it's okay to punch up. And the perceived highest level you can attain is white guy. And so that's why it's okay.
Is it?
I think so. If you go by PC political correctness, what's the one group that no one will get fired up if you insult them?
You know who
it's
gets a pass?
Every other group,
Asian
even if it's
dudes.
A little outrage.
Asian dudes get so much of a pass. They're beating us like economically.
They're
beating us on the Asian guys. They're beating us on SAT scores.
They probably deserve it.
They're kicking our ass everywhere, and I just feel like
penis size.
Okay, almost everywhere.
And driving abilities.
Yeah, women are kicking our ass in education. Because the whole education system is set up to teach the way women learn, not the way men learn. That's just the way it is. When you give a 23-year-old...
fewer exams.
Yeah, when you give a 23-year-old girl who just got out of college the ability to mold the minds of a bunch of fourth graders, like, who do you think she's going to kind of cater towards? Like, do you really... Looking back, like, as a kid, you went in there thinking, like, this is a bona fide professional teacher who knows exactly the words to say to inscribe that knowledge into my
Socrates I was learning from. Yeah, I thought it was a great philosopher imparting his wisdom upon me. That's just some fucking guy. He didn't even have a degree. He had a teaching certificate because he had served in the military.
You learn later that,
he killed some Iraqis and took a little shrapnel. They put him in the educational system. He would lose his shit and, like, throw books.
It's almost a good thing, though, that kids don't know what their teachers actually are at that age, because it's like, if you knew that old Ms. Johnson 6 months before that was blowing someone at Kappa Nu House, getting shit-faced, like, you wouldn't quite listen to her about, long division the same way.
Even into adulthood, I think that, though, I'm glad you brought this up because I'm kind of only now thinking of this, but
occupations.
I've had a lot of friends who were teachers, and they're younger. They're like a year younger than me or so. A couple girls that I know, and they both teach. And I'm talking to them and stuff, and they're smart girls and everything. But on some subjects, I know a lot more than them, and I'm thinking, like, for some reason, even now as an adult, I thought you would have known that. Don't you teach social studies? Isn't that You guys don't teach that about the Constitution and stuff no?
You know, when you're around someone, it doesn't take too long to sort of figure out where you are on the intelligence
If you're
scale.
peers or not, yeah.
Yeah, if you're I might hang out with a the black science guy, as Kyle calls him, and realize like, oh, I'm really outclassed here. And sometimes it goes the other way, and sometimes you're peers.
Yeah.
I remember visiting Hope's classroom in elementary school, and I was surprised to see that her teacher was clearly not on my level. I was like just probably a good 15, 20 IQ points above her. Just that's how it was. Maybe 10, 15. But yeah. Teachers
Noticeable difference.
Yeah.
I've met people that I've been blown away, but I was wow, this is someone I should really listen when that guy talks. When he opens his mouth, some good stuff's coming out. Let's all quieten down and just absorb what's coming out of him. Yeah. Anytime Taylor, but when fucking piece of shit. No, but really, I was actually thinking of my friend Matt Barnett. He's a chemist. He got his degree from Texas A&M. He's got a master's degree in chemistry, and he works for the government destroying ordnance. And he was speaking to me about chemistry and the chemistry of explosives. And he was explaining, and I won't be able to repeat this very well, but he was explaining, he's like, oh yeah, this is the difference between a sulfate and a phosphate, and the difference is only this, and it's a little temperature and a little bit of this instead of that, and they look the same, but if you do that, then you die. But if you do it this way, and it gets above 214 degrees, then you die. But as long as you don't add any acetone during phase 3, then you won't die. And it's just like, this is what you do for a living? He's like, yeah,
that's
sometimes.
Not that complicated. You just need to isolate the fate, and then you can add the sul or the phos post, and then you get either one.
But yeah,
Sorry, that was so stupid.
Semi-politics question. Hypothetically, which of the current presidential candidates do you think will die the soonest?
Sanders.
Bernie.
He's the oldest.
By 4 years over Trump. I think Trump will die first.
No, those 4 years are essential. Trump will live to be, I'm going to say, 82, and Bernie will live to be...
Trump?
No, Trump has enough money. He'll live to be like 89. No, 87, I'm going to say, because I'm sure his life has taken some out of him.
He's been living the good life his whole life. He's been pampered, taken care of, the best of medical care. He's not going to get some random disease that needs years to actually get you without detection.
No.
He's not going to like have some heart attack, something like that. If he's going to get like struck
overweight.
down, it's going to be like a barely overweight. I feel like he's 35, 40 pounds overweight. That's
the thing.
An
I
American,
feel like Trump has been living a rich man's life, like not necessarily the kind of life. Yeah, I feel like he's had a lot of alcohol in his life. Not alcoholic. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I bet he's enjoyed beer in a way that like maybe Bernie Sanders hasn't. I bet he's enjoyed red meat in a way that
he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes. It's a big thing that he teaches his children.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that. I was thinking not so much like drinking, smoking. I was
zero drugs,
like,
zero alcohol.
He's probably
zero
eating like really nice desserts and crazy fancy sweets and steaks. And I just meant like his overall diet. Like when you have that much money, it's like, am I going to get that red meat fillet that costs, $90? Yeah, I think I fucking am because I want it. And I want that little chocolate cake piece afterward. I mean, it's not like I drink or smoke. I deserve a little something, right? Like,
right?
That's how you rationalize things like that.